Be honest down in the comments section. Am I the only person who thinks of John Mulaney anytime I hear or look at this title?
Monkey, monkey, monkey man. Monkey, monkey, monkey man.
An anonymous young man unleashes a campaign of vengeance against the corporate leaders who murdered his mother and continue to victimize the poor and powerless. So Monkey Man stars and is the directorial debut of Dev Patel. So he's not just in front of the camera, he's working behind the scenes as well. And going into Monkey Man, I didn't really know much about the movie. I knew that fairly or unfairly, it was being compared to John Wick, like being a new John Wick type series. And after having watched the movie, I do think that that is a little bit unfair because Monkey Man is a way more simplistic revenge tale than John Wick. It doesn't really have all the ingredients that John Wick had. Being pulled back into his old life that he left behind because someone did him wrong. All that kind of stuff isn't in Monkey Man. Monkey Man is just a guy getting revenge on another guy. And in that way, its simplicity both works for it, but also kind of works against it. Before we get into that, let's talk about Dev Patel in front of the camera as the lead actor in this movie. I thought he was great. I thought he really fit the role of this guy. No offense to Dev Patel, but this is supposed to be a guy who blends into the background. You don't really think much of him in real life, and he totally pulls that off in the movie. He also gives this character a very sympathetic nature to him, because for a large majority of the movie, his character is wrapped in secrecy. It's very much a mystery of who this man is. In fact, it's a mystery of what he's trying to do. But as we went on with the character and his journey, I ended up really liking him. I was rooting for him all the way. And Dev Patel behind the camera as his directorial debut for this movie, I thought it was also pretty well done. You can tell that it is a first-time director, I will say. Not in a bad way, like it doesn't look amateur or anything like that. It just kind of has that feel. There's definitely some roughness around the edges of this movie. There's definitely times where I feel like Dev Patel was trying a little bit too hard to show something in an artistic, artsy way, which did kind of hurt Monkey Man just a little bit for me. Because when it comes to this movie, as I said, this is a simple movie of a guy who's trying to take down another guy by working his way up to get to his level. And in that way, the movie can be kind of intense and riveting at times. Mainly in the beginning and the end of the movie. The John Wick action that you want to get from this movie is mainly in the beginning and the end. But at the same time, the action sequences in this movie, I can't help but feel a little disappointed by. You do get some great action sequences that do feel very smooth and slick, like that one you've seen in all the marketing, where he takes down a bunch of guys in a kitchen, but unfortunately, that's the exception when it comes to the action sequences in this movie. A lot of the action sequences in this, while choreographed pretty well, the camera was kind of shaky, the editing was kind of choppy, sometimes it was disorienting, sometimes it was hard to tell which location and where the people were that were fighting, which was a bummer. And that's one of the reasons why I think that it's very unfair to compare this to John Wick, because this doesn't have the same style as John Wick. This doesn't have the same camera work, the same cinematography as a John Wick does. It doesn't really have the same world building as a John Wick does. And in that way, Monkey Man does stand on its own. And unless you're exclusively putting revenge tales to the John Wick formula, you can't really compare this one to John Wick. But that also does hurt Monkey Man a little bit, because it is kind of cliche. It is kind of formulaic for revenge tales. You've seen this kind of story in many, 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 many other movies before Monkey Man, and honestly, you've seen it done better. Because while I did have some fun with Monkey Man, I did enjoy the action at times. I liked the character. I was rooting for him on his journey. They set up why this guy is going after this person pretty well, to the point that it's hard to be like, yeah, I don't want him to get, I want him to get these people. Go get him, Monkey Man. But I will say the second act of this movie really dragged for me, and the middle part of this movie I feel was kind of missing chunks, because it is the stereotypical moment in the movie where the hero kind of has to build himself back up, and in that sense I feel like the movie missed some steps on his journey of healing. There was something about the middle portion, the second act of this movie, that I just felt was rushed and just a little bit too underdeveloped. Another thing that this movie has that is both a positive and a negative against it is wrapped in Indian culture, and you can really feel the passion that Dev Patel is bringing to this movie, filling it with his culture and having a real clear message that he wants to say. In that way, the movie does get a little political, and I'm just going to be straight up honest. I've heard that the politics in this movie were actually kind of controversial. For me, I don't really keep up with the politics that were depicted in this movie, so I was just kind of lost at that portion of the movie, if I'm being honest, because I just didn't really have the context of what he was speaking on at the time. Now that I've gone and looked into it a little bit more, I do understand it, but in the movie, sitting there watching it just as a casual audience member, scratching my head a little bit at that point. In the end, I think Monkeyman is a good first directorial debut by Dev Patel. I think it shows a lot of potential for this director forward in his career. I think it proves that he's a really good actor. The action sequences were fun when they happened, but at the same time, I just couldn't help but feel that this movie was kind of cliched, kind of formulaic. I've seen it a bunch of times. I've seen it done better, and I'm not really eager to watch Monkeyman again, if I'm being honest with you. So for those reasons, I'm going to give Monkeyman a weak recommend. And I don't really mean that in a harsh way. I wish I could give it a solid recommend, but if I'm being honest with myself, if someone asked me, "Hey Zach, do you want to come see Monkeyman with me?" Maybe I'll meet you somewhere after the movie. I probably wouldn't go and watch it again. Anyway, guys, those are just my thoughts and opinions on Monkeyman. But what did you guys think of Monkeyman? Have you had a chance to check it out yet? Were you excited to see it? Comment down below and let me know. And guys, if you're new here and you haven't heard, we have a goal on this channel. We want to hit 4,000 subscribers. If you like talking movies, if you like talking about, directorial debuts, 80s movies, 90s, early aughts, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all the fun blockbusters, we do that all the time over on this channel. Consider hitting that subscribe button before you make your way out. As always, guys, thank you so much for hearing me out, and I hope to talk to you guys again real soon.